Stand over here, mommy.
Okay.
Stand right in front. You ready? And I want you to move
you're fine.
like that. Twinkle.
Are you going to be Here, you want to sit over here and I'll sit over there?
No, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Okay, ready?
Okay, ready?
Whenever you're ready, Joe. Move over here.
Come on, Alta, you're going to start it off. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Oh Would you like to play something else
And then
by
we got
yourself? Psalm 23. It starts here.
No, no.
Con huevos, Juan, con huevos.
Huh?
You want to read it first?
What? That's my Christmas language.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, when you're ready, Alta.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be in want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely godliness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Amen.
I'm going to read some philosophical words. That's it. Because I couldn't find
Mama,
words to learn.
She's reading, she's reading.
Anyway, I need you to all understand this. You have within you a mighty power.
That's it? Hold on.
Power Ranger?
Slight pause.
You have within you a mighty power, anxious and willing to serve you. A power capable of giving you that which you earnestly desire. This power is described by Thompson J. Hudson, author of The Law of Psychic Phenomena, as your subjective mind. Other learned writers can call it different things. They disagree on different things, but they all agree that this is omnipotent. Therefore, I call the power Emmanuel. God is in us. God dwells. Aw, tell us about your patient Kimmy.
3 was for
And you're sort of
reading.
violating hip-hop.
Mom, you pick a page and me
Kimmy
and I will read it.
must be influencing their family because she is quadriplegic,
No, she has arthrogryposis.
but she can't move, right? She's
She
in a
can
wheelchair.
move, she just doesn't have the ability to. Like she'll move her arms very little, minimal movement.
So that must affect you in your life. So that's where you heard from that book? Okay, go ahead.
It's called The Tale of the Three Trees.
I will read the page and me and Dad will read the book.
Once upon a mountaintop, 3 little trees stood and dreamed of what they wanted to become when they grew up. Those are the 3 white trees. Can you see them?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
That's the next page.
I'm not going to read nothing.
Rabbit's first. The first little tree looked up at the stars twinkling like diamonds above him. I want to hold treasure, he said. I want to be covered with gold and filled with precious stones.
I know this.
I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world.
Me and Daddy are
Listen
going
to the story,
Me
Melanie.
too, listen. The second little tree looked out at the small stream trickling by on its way to the ocean. I want to be a strong sailing ship, he said. I want to travel mighty waters and carry powerful kings. I will be the strongest ship in the world. The third little tree looked down into the valley below where busy men and busy
You
women
can
worked
sit.
in a
You
busy
want to
town.
sit?
I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all, she said. I want to grow so tall that when people stop to look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world.
Years passed, the rains came, the sun shone, and the little trees grew tall. One day 3 woodcutters climbed the mountain.
The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, "This tree is beautiful. It is perfect for me." With a swoop of his shining axe, the first tree fell. "Now I shall be made into a beautiful chest," thought the first tree. "I shall hold wonderful treasure." The second woodcutter looked at the second tree and said, "This tree is strong. It is perfect for me." With a swoop of his shining axe, the second tree fell. "Now I shall sail mighty waters," thought the second tree. "I shall be a strong ship fit for kings." The third tree felt her heart sink when the last woodcutter looked her way. She stood straight and tall and pointed bravely to heaven, but the woodcutter never even looked up. "Any kind of tree will do for me," he muttered. With a swoop of his shining axe, the third tree fell.
Daddy turn.
The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought him to a carpenter's shop, but the busy carpenter was not thinking about treasure chest. Instead, his work-worn hands fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. The once beautiful tree was not covered with gold or filled with treasure. He was coated with sawdust and filled with hay for hungry farm animals.
Are there animals?
The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to a shipyard, but no mighty sailing ships were being made that day. Instead, the once strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat, too small and too weak to sail an ocean or even a river. He was taken to a little lake. Every day he brought in loads of dead, smelly fish.
Third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams and left her in a lumber yard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted to do was stay on the mountaintop and point to God.
Many, many days and nights passed. The 3 trees nearly forgot their dreams. But one night, golden starlight poured over the first tree as a young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. "I wish I could make a cradle for him," her husband whispered. The mother squeezed his hand and smiled as the starlight shone on the smooth and sturdy wood. "This manger is beautiful," she said, and suddenly the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world.
Oh, he was holding Jesus. See, the tree was holding Jesus.
One evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into the old-fashioned fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep as the second tree quietly sailed out into the lake. Soon, a thundering and thrashing storm arose. The little tree shuddered. He knew he did not have the strength to carry so many passengers safely through the wind and rain. The tired man awakened. He stood up, stretched out his hand, and said, "Peace." The storm stopped as quickly as it had begun. And suddenly the second tree knew he was carrying the king of the heaven and earth.
One Friday morning, the third tree was startled when her beams were yanked from the forgotten woodpile. She flinched as she was carried through an angry, jeering crowd. She shuddered when soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly and harsh and cruel.
But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled with joy beneath her, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. It had made the first tree beautiful, it had made the second tree strong, and every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. The end.
That's beautiful.